Okay, this is my next surgery update video. Tomorrow would be 1 year, 1 month since my gender confirming surgery, and I do have good news. I messaged the doctor. What happened was I messaged him, didn't hear anything back, so I sent a second message, and they were saying that they never received the request to have the revision, because what was supposed to happen is they were supposed to do the whole process to get it pre-approved with my insurance and call me back, which that didn't happen. They were saying they're going to look into it to find out where the miscommunication was, and that I shouldn't have had a gap in my care, like a 5-month gap. So they're going to figure out what was going on, and they quickly sent a request to the insurance. Then they got back to me and they said, with my insurance, it doesn't need to be pre-approved. And the doctor, Dr. Goodwin, who did my surgery, wants to see me first. So there was 2 available dates I could have chose. One was in December. Then there was the earlier date, November 2nd is what I chose. So I see him November 2nd at the earliest time they had. And at my appointment, they would schedule the revision surgery then. So yeah. So that is going forward to fix the 3 issues I'm having. The issues I'm having is pretty much the labia minora needs to be lifted up. The erectile tissue that surrounds the urethra, that it's like right there where the vaginal entrance is, that erectile tissue that's like right there around the urethra, needs to be tacked back down because that part is bulging out. Mostly when like sexually aroused and bulges out, or when I'm sitting in certain positions, like when I go to dilate or just regularly use the bathroom, that part bulges out, and it's gotten a little bit worse. And that is not a good thing, because I know it will eventually cause dysphoria if it doesn't get fixed. So yeah, so that, especially when aroused and afterwards when I use the bathroom, I notice it. After sexy time, I notice it. So more bulging out even more when that happens. So that needs to be fixed. And my labia majora, the outer labia, that needs to be filled in, because part of it filled in on the right, no, it's on the left side. Part of it's filled in on its own. The right side, not really anything. So there's like not really any labia majora there that's really noticeable. It's like only when my legs are together and everything's pushed together, you can see some of it. But when my legs are spread apart, it's like non-existent. So yeah. So they're gonna do, it's a fat transfer from the tummy area to the labia majora to fill it in, and a skin graft to lift up the labia minora, the inner labia, from the tummy area where there's no hair. So yeah, and I'm not looking forward to that scar. We're having a catheter in for 5 days, but it is what it is. When that time comes, it will come. And it's an outpatient procedure, so yeah. Other than that, see at my appointment, November 2nd, what happens regarding revision and when that's actually going to be. And I've noticed down there has been a little bit of changes. That's not what I've mentioned yet already. That needs to be fixed. The scar tissue that connects where the vaginal canal connects to perineum, that scar tissue that's like right there is getting better. The way I've recently been massaging it, I put my fingers together like this, like fingers like this, and I go. I usually use one hand or two, and I go like this and go like this, and I just massage it out, and it's been helping. And where the scar line is on the right side, the upper part where they had to put more stitches in, because that's the part where they had to put extra stitches in. The scar tissue is right there. Since I've been using one of the most wonderful toys I ended up getting, it's the Breathless by Adam and Eve. It's a clitoral stimulator. It's like with the suction and the vibrating. It's actually been helping to heal that scar tissue. Because vibrating and whatnot promotes blood flow to the area. And when there's more blood flow to the area, then it promotes healing. And those little nubs next to the urethra have been healing as well. It's been about a week or so since I used the toy last, and the scar tissue has shrunk significantly. So, yeah. So that's getting better. The only other physical change since surgery, because the hormones where they're at is like perfect for me, and because what happens is after surgery, like the male to female gender confirming surgery, it's estimated that usually on average you'll gain 1 cup size due to the hormone difference. And I've have gained that cup size, but I noticed when I was in the shower and when I looked in the mirror, like the top part right here, I noticed more fullness on top than when I was in the shower the other day. I noticed in between the inner sides was closer together and the shape is more defined. So I was like, oh, then I was like, oh, there's more there. So I actually measured, and I've gained 1/2 inch in the bust and 1/2 inch in the waist, in which my waist and right where the pelvis is at the iliac crest, that part usually measures 1 inch more than my waist. So, yeah. So that's where I've gained. My hips I haven't gained. So those are the spots where I have gained. So even though it's I measure more, I still fit in a 32G. I've noticed every time my breasts go up a cup size, when it does, it's the bottom half ends up filling in. And when the bottom half fills in enough, and for my body, it ends up being a cup size bigger. But when the top half finally fills in, I measure a cup size bigger than I actually fit in, which is kind of weird because I measure my band is still 32 and my bust is 40 now. Well, part of it is due to my back because I have scoliosis and kyphosis. So that's part of where the measurements are coming from and why it is the way it is, and my breast size and shape. So I still fit in a 32G, even though I measure 32H, American sizing. The reason why I say American sizing is because where I live here in America is different how they measure and size things than other countries. So, like a UKG is not the same as an American G, like a cup size, the way everything's measured. Just to clarify that. So yeah. So it's pretty much it's all through right here. All I've noticed is filled in all up here. And the thing is, I've still, as I'm going through my transition, they're still growing. And it's not fun at times when I really feel it, especially when it itches or it hurts in random spots. But the thing is, I still want up here to be filled in more, only on top. And I still want to still stay being a 32G, but have the upper part here filled in more. That's all I want. And then it would be, for me, it would be perfect as long as I can get more fullness on top and stay at a 32G. I'll be happy right there. Which I'm already happy with what I've got because of in the past when I struggled to get where I'm at. I'm happy with them. I just want the upper part filled in more. So, other than that, I haven't had any other really physical changes with my transition. And no, surgery has not gotten rid of facial hair. Because through here and here, and there's one spot right here, is where the hair still is since my last laser treatment. And that was just for the chin and upper lip. Through here seems like it's gone away, but it's like through about going like this, and here it's still there. Surgery hasn't done anything lowering, like getting rid of the source of the testosterone. It's still there. Once you get facial hair, you can't decrease it with HRT. And a few months ago when I had my underarms done, now I mentioned the hair's gone away. That hair, some of it is, it's like through here a little bit and on this side a little bit, and it's kind of like even in the same spots. Some of the hair has come back, but some of a much lighter color. So I may end up having to have electrolysis done. I just have to make another appointment to have laser done, talk to him about it, what can do and whatnot. So yeah. So still have that facial hair. That's not changed, which sucks that hormones and gender confirming surgery does not fix that. But other than that, haven't had any other changes except one change that comes to mind that most people never talk about or mention. The hair down there. How I've mentioned the shape has changed and filled in. Well, some of the research I did, it's like right where the pubic bone is, where the mons pubis is, and where the hairline is and everything, and how the internal organs are placed, where that hairline has filled in down there on top. if you actually know human biology, like if I had a uterus, it would be the top of it would be right where that hairline is. If you look at how human anatomy is, like the female anatomy, where things are placed, yeah, that's exactly where the hairline is, isn't that exact spot? Right where the bladder is, like above it, right where the uterus would be if I had one. So, yeah, so the hormones have changed that to where it says females would be. So when I did that research, I was like, oh, okay, now that makes sense why my body is doing this with the hormones since surgery. So, yeah, I just wanted to explain that if you haven't heard any other people talk about it, because it can happen to anyone. But this is my experience with my body transitioning from before surgery and after surgery. So, yeah, that's happened. And that's probably the reason why the hair is done what it's done, because the estrogen and progesterone with no testosterone finally getting my body where it's supposed to be. So, yeah. Um, Other than that, I'm happy. Can't wait for my appointment to find out what's going to go on. Now, hopefully, 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 everything goes smoothly and goes well. So, yeah. And just hoping that it's going to be a sooner surgery date and not later. Because this month was supposed to be the month that my surgery should have been. Because I was told the revision wouldn't be until September. So, yeah. So I'm glad that they were able to get things going again. The thought that comes to my mind with revision right now, I'm not looking forward to having that catheter in for 5 days or the scar I'm going to have. I was told there would be a scar where they have to take the skin to do the skin graft. I'm not looking forward to that scar. It's something I really don't want to have. But in order to fix the issues, that's what's going to happen. And I'm just, right now, with how my thoughts are, I really don't want to get this from having a scar. Because I feel that might end up happening. So I'm just hoping it doesn't cause dysphoria. But it is what it is. And deal with that when that time comes. And we'll get through this. I'll get through it. So that's pretty much my thoughts and feelings on it and what's been going on this last month. So until my next video, please comment, rate, and subscribe. And to my next video.